This could be what your wallet looks like after it has been drained. Empty. Some of you might know the feeling. You wake up and your wallet has been drained. Transactions have been done overnight and it wasn't you who accepted those transactions. So what happened? Your first instinct is probably to visit a website like revoke.cash to check for any malicious approvals. But if your seed phrase or your private keys have been compromised, then there is nothing to revoke. In this video, we want to take a look why this happens and why usually malware is the one to blame. Okay, welcome to the desktop, and let's start with the section number 1, which is the device used for crypto. And when it comes to crypto, most users are not using a dedicated device, which means you are probably using your desktop PC, you are using a laptop, you might be using your phone. Whether that is, you are using a device for crypto that you are using in your day-to-day life too. So whether that is that you're playing games on your desktop PC or you do your work stuff on your laptop, it all comes down to the device you use when using crypto. And this just means your risk goes up massively because you are obviously more prone to downloads, to launches, to invitations and fake zooms and whatnot. So you might download a game extension, you might download some pirated software, and in any of these there could be malware. We're coming to that at a later point in the video though. So just keep in mind that if you're using a device that you're using on a day-to-day basis with crypto, you need to take certain precaution steps really. Because as you can think about it, it's not a clean environment, so it's not a dedicated environment. So we gotta take some preventive steps. Okay, next we're looking at this orange box, the software wallet. And unfortunately, this is what most of you are relying on to date, which means the software wallet can be MetaMask, Rabby, Phantom, Backpack, you name it. If you're using a software wallet only, just note that the keys and the seed phrase have probably been generated on this very device and they stay on this very device. Which means if you generated the seed phrase on this computer or if you generated a seed phrase on your phone, the phone or the computer always has an active internet connection, which makes it prone to attacks. Because if your device catches malware right here, everything will be gone. There's no additional guard of security involved. It's like you taking your debit card and writing the PIN for the ATM machine on side of that card. So if that card gets stolen, same time they have access to the PIN and can take anything from that account. The same is with the software wallet. The moment you catch malware on that device, everything will be gone. This is what we use the term hot wallet for in wallet security, by the way, because the keys have been generated online and continue to be stored on an internet connected device. Whereas if you use a cold wallet, which we are talking about later on, the keys have been generated offline and continue to stay offline. In my opinion, you should only use a software wallet for frequent and very small amount of transactions, because as you get higher value in transaction volume, you don't want to keep them on your software wallet at all. Because right here we're looking at the deadly combination of you using a software wallet and then catching malware on your device. If we take a step back to the dedicated device, think about what I just told you. If you're using your computer for your everyday use, for your crypto transactions, for your gaming, for your working, for your business, you are expanding your risk exposure like indefinitely. And malware can come to you in many forms. You might think, hey, I don't download anything random, but it just has to be a convincing DM where someone tells you like, hey, do you want to try a new game? You download the launcher, it's just an exe file, an executable, and then there's malware included. Pirated software or cracked apps are pretty common too, so don't use them like at all, but especially not on your crypto device. Also, malware can be disguised as like conferencing tools. We had these cases happening where people were trying to do a job interview and then the company told them like, hey, we have this internal video conferencing software because we are non-English native speakers and it translates everything you say from English to Chinese, for example. And we only use this quote unquote fake Zoom clone, whatever. Again, the moment you download that and install that exe file on your device, if it's malware, your software wallet and your holdings will be toast. Another thing we see was a pretty common thing in Telegram groups where you had to run an additional step to verify your wallet. It led you to a website and you clicked that little I am a human tick box. And after that, you were prompted to copy something to your clipboard, press the Windows and the R key, and then run something in your console on your device. Please don't ever do that, because these prompts, the stuff that you copy to your clipboard, it will install and run malware on your machine, leading to ultimate loss of the holdings in your software wallet. So you get the idea. Malware can come in various forms and through many doors to your system, even if you are not prone to download stuff. But social engineering goes a long way, and people might convince you to download something sketchy, leading to the ultimate loss of your assets. Once the malware is on your system, we have RATs, which are remote access trojans, which are basically just remote access to your devices. We also have info stealers, where they are extracting saved formula data from your browsers, for example. So they are just looking for user files, they are looking for installed extensions like MetaMask, like Rabby, and from there they are able to extract your private keys and your seed phrases. So again, if your seed phrase and your private keys are stored on an internet connected device and that device catches malware, the funds will be gone. Even worse, it might not only target your crypto stuff, but it might also target your credit card data, your login to X, your login to Facebook, your login to your other social profiles. It's a mess, really. Once you have malware on your machine, you need to do a clean install, wipe everything from that machine and start from zero. And you have to start from zero with your wallets again, because again, they will have been drained by the moment you find out. As you can see, this will lead to total loss, and this is something we want to avoid at all costs, and this is why you are watching this very video. So you might ask, what's the safe path, and what can we do to avoid this scenario? This is a great question, and probably the reason why you clicked on this video in the first place. What we need to do is we need to limit or eliminate the risk of our software wallet holding our private keys and the seed phrase on an internet connected device. Which means we would take this little pencil and just screw the line between a device used for crypto and the software wallet right here. Because the moment you isolate your device from not being a software wallet on a machine that you use on a day-to-day life, the moment you are no longer vulnerable to malicious downloads gets you like 99% ahead of the malware. To achieve this, you really got two options. The first one being using a hardware wallet right here. And the second one being a dedicated device. These two are your only options basically, because a hardware wallet is a cold wallet, and on a cold wallet, your keys are generated offline, your seed phrase is generated offline, and it continues to stay offline, because the keys of a hardware wallet and the seed phrase of a hardware wallet will never be broadcasted again after you generated them the first time. Which means from a hardware wallet, you cannot extract the private keys, at least to this date, not with malware and things like that. This one right here is a Ledger Nano X Plus, for example, which generated the seed phrase offline, kept the keys offline, and will continue to keep the keys offline, therefore making it not vulnerable to any malicious downloads. Because even if I was to download something wrong on my machine right now, the private keys and the seed phrase of that hardware wallet would still be offline, and they are not affected if I run malware on my device. My software wallets would be, but the hardware wallet is not able to be infected by malware, at least as of now in 2025. The second option you have is a dedicated device, like a cheaper phone. I'm not a fan of phone wallets and stuff, so I wouldn't recommend a phone. Or a cheaper laptop, like a Chromebook, for example, which is a great option because on a Chromebook you can only install stuff from the Google Play Store, which makes you not vulnerable to exe files and downloaders and installers, because you're basically kept with the stuff that is on the Google Play Store anyway. So the dedicated device would only be used for crypto transaction. You wouldn't like download games, you wouldn't download any software on this thing. You just literally boot it up to do your crypto stuff and then shut it down again. We also have like code admins, for example, and Discord servers for bigger NFT communities, where there's just a device which is just used for this simple purpose of being a code admin, where it gets booted up and then it can change some settings, for example, where no one has like a hot installation on the device, but it's just a dedicated device that is just used for one simple purpose. Malware attacks are always about one thing: they want to steal your keys. Once they have access to your keys or your seed phrase, there's no undo, there's nothing you can do, nothing can be done for you, nothing can be reversed, and especially these quote-unquote recovery services, they are trying to scam you too. Prevention is your only real defense. So if you are serious about your funds, make the switch to a hardware wallet or a dedicated device. You can combine both too before you learn it the hard way. And always use an antivirus, even if you don't use the software wallet. So the choice is ultimately up to you. You have to decide between a hardware wallet and a dedicated device if you want to stay safe from malware. So if you are serious about your crypto, take your setup seriously. Investing like $150 for a hardware wallet is better than to lose like $15,000 overnight because you downloaded a wrong software last night and you didn't even know about it. I hope this video was helpful and insightful for all of you. How do you protect your wallets today? Let me know in the comments below and see you on the next one.